Hi, Bridge family. We are in our fourth and final training on how to make the most of this season. We sense that there's much going on in our world. Ephesians 5 says that we are to be careful how we walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most and the best use of time because the days are evil. That we are to be considerate of how the Lord would have us live and how to have us act. And as we've been doing that, we've really been asking some questions through the lens of Luke 10 when Jesus sends out his 72, where he commissions them to go and find people of peace and to declare the gospel to them. We've been learning what it looks like to pray and to go ahead, to kind of prepare the spiritual ground, to build spiritual bridges, and to discern by reaching out in peace to people around us and seeing how they respond. That some of them will actually welcome us into their lives with hospitality. They might even serve us. And these are the people that God has called us to be a blessing to. And we talked last week about spending time with them, energy, efforts, desire with them. This is how God would have us live. And today we want to look specifically on what we're called to do in blessing them. And so we turn our attention to Luke 10, and it says this, that if you enter a town and it welcomes you, eat whatever is set before you, heal the sick, and tell them, the kingdom of God is near you now. So we see a couple things there that when we're with these people that God has given us, the desire here is to be a tangible blessing of God to them. And in this case, it does some pretty miraculous things, right? It says to heal the sick, to tell them also with our words, the kingdom of God is near. That this is the good news, that God actually loves you. And his desire is to not only just pardon you, but to be with you and to bring his newness of life into your life. And so the question and the challenge we have for us this week would be, Father, how would you have me be a tangible blessing of Jesus to the people around me? How would you have me have them discover this richness of who you are? So for example, last week I sent out a package to a family of some friends of ours that moved just prior to COVID that we had spent some time with, and I particularly ran and did biking with this guy. His name's John. And we were saddened to see them go. And yet we, in the midst of cleaning up our basement, came across some of Noah's old Beyblades, and his boys really loved them. And so I packed them up. I sent him in a package and I wrote a little note, and his response was, we were tear-filled when we got these. We miss everybody, and we miss you guys back home, and we so appreciate this gesture. It's a small little thing, right? But it's one of those ways where we were allowed to express Jesus to a family that we've been put in contact with through the Lord's directing. So what is it for you? What might it look like to bless one of these people that God's given you this week? Here's what I want you to do. Take 1, maybe 2 minutes and sit prayerfully and ask, Father, who would you have me bless, and how would you have me do that? I'm trusting and I'm praying for God's discernment to be yours as we continue to build bridges to those scattered around us to be united in the life-giving work of Jesus.